Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are wrapping up the month of April in my reading journals, and it feels really weird to be sitting in May already in this year. Where is it gone? But this is the reading challenge page, and I am writing it, well, colouring in 10 boxes because I read a total of 10 books over April. And I don't normally get to share this footage with you all because I've already done it, but because of the quarter one flip through and how long it took me to film that, I haven't touched my journal at all over April. So come along with me. We're going to do a little bit more filling in than usual for this wrap up. I hope you enjoy that. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Shal and I share all about my reading journals. I have two for the year of 2025. One is this journal that you see here. It is my main 2025 journal. And the second one is a reading data journal with a lot of trackers and stats in it. I do have some stats tracking in this journal. Sometimes I think it should be in the other one, but I'm so used to putting it in this journal that it came into this one this year. Maybe next year I'll move it into the reading data, but for now I really like having it in here. This is the bookshelfy page, and the color system that you're seeing me filling in now, all these books that were read over April, just indicates my star ratings. And I was very fortunate because I had five-star ratings, which is that pink color. I also had a 2.5 star rating, and I did DNF 3 books. So it was a decisive month of reading. I wasn't prepared to read books that I wasn't enjoying. I did DNF 2 e-arcs, which is not like me to do. I tried to push through, but I couldn't. And I also had a couple of books that I didn't quite enjoy, but was too far in and kind of finished anyway. So I'm glad that most of the month was really good reading. I actually had an average rating of 4.1, which I think is the highest of the year, and I'm really happy with that. So now that the bookshelfie is done, we can go to that tracker page that should be in the other journal, and that is the Days Read Pixel. I really love this page. I always talk about this page. I think if you followed me every single month, you will know the jargon that I say every single time when it comes around this page. I love the trends that come up on this. I love watching all the boxes get filled in. It's just really therapeutic to me, especially when I'm narrating and watching it back. It's just fun. So on the left-hand side, we have the Days Read Pixel for how many books per day. And the color key is above in that corner there. So most of the books that most of the boxes are colored in that cornflower blue-purple color, and that represents one book. On the right-hand side, which is very spotty in color, that is the days that I finished a book. So most of that will be that cornflower color because I don't tend to finish multiple books on the same day, but on the odd occurrence that happens, I can use the same key to represent 2 and 3+ books, etc. I don't color in it with the gray color, which is did not read, because I don't see the point on that side. However, I am a little bit, I wouldn't say frustrated is the right word, but a little bit miffed that my trends that were happening for the whole year over April got a little bit shifted around. There, I think, is only 2 days on the chart that have stayed consistent from the start of the year all the way to the end of the year, maybe 3, depending on if the month ended shortly, because February is a short month. You can't really track that one with the rest. But it was just really interesting to see those trends change over April. And whilst my reading was more intentional over April, there were days where I had to sit out, and normal happenstances such as book club, which we all sat out on in April, didn't happen. So I couldn't keep up with those trends. It's really interesting to me to look back on that and have that knowledge. And so that's why I shared it today. I'm on some other challenge pages here. I've almost finished my reading bingo, and on the other side was the A to Z challenge. I was able to add 2 more books to that list. I'm not doing very good on that this year. I'm flipping back and forth from my April pages because in April I took a really big intentional focus on getting caught up on some readathons that I do over the year and was behind in. I still didn't quite get up to date, but I was very conscious about it and managed to get several books done. I think I've got like 2 more to catch up on, which is very fortunate that I can hopefully get that done over May. We're now in the actual April pages of this journal, and we're on my favorite page, which is the reading log. And the reason why I say it's my favorite page is when I'm filling it in during the month, it's not my favorite page, but when we get to this part and I get to stick in all the covers of the books, it comes to life. It becomes such a fun and interesting page to look at. you get a lot of information at once, but if you just look at it at a glance, you get to see the star ratings, the covers, and when I get to stick them on, they'll be coming soon, the visual guide of the format. I know it's a bit repetitive because I have format written down and I don't really necessarily need to stick those stickers on, but I've printed them out ages ago and I find them really handy, so I just keep doing it. These are the stickers here. I had to grab another little sheet out because I have read too many ebooks and I had to cut the physical books off the bottom. So I have extra physical books because, as you know, if you've been following me all year long, one of my goals is to read more physical books, and I read more digital/audio books. So it's a work in progress and I still have loads of physical stickers left. I also read 2 mixed reads over the month of April. I really enjoy the tandem reading of having a physical book and an audiobook, but it's not often feasible because I tend to read audiobooks when I'm also doing other tasks, like filling in these pages. I was listening to Oathbound by Tracy Deonn, and yeah, it's not always feasible, but when I get to do it, I really enjoy it. We've now already moved into my reading data journal and we're in the series tracker, which is in the global portion of this book. This book I want to hopefully make last over the next 3 years. So I have this global portion where I'm tracking all the information for series, and hopefully when I get it put in my physical book collection. However, that's a work in progress as well. But this portion was a little bit frustrating when I was filling it in. You can see I'm trying to find a series and it still baffles me to this point that we're now in, well, when I'm narrating this, in May, and I could not find a series that I started last year. I'm not sure why I didn't write it down. I'm on the street team for this author. I knew it was going to be a duology, so I have no idea why it slipped my mind and wasn't added to the list at the start of the year. But I've had to add it here, which is why that different color there that represents 2024 compared to the beigey color that represents 2025 was put in. But that's all the books added to the series tracker that I want to track going forward. And I am now going to add this red color on, which represents that I finished a series. So I'm very happy to have yet another series completed. One of my goals for the year is to complete 20 series by the end of the year. So I now have, I think, 6 done, and I'm very thrilled. We're now in the 2025 portion of this journal. This is where I'm tracking all the information about just this year alone. And this first page is what I call the year at a glance. I really enjoy this. A lot of people like this as well. I cannot take credit for this idea. I believe it came from a friend of mine called Amanda, and her Instagram account is books_ergo_sum, SUM. And she introduced this to me. She also introduced the journal, the diary for your diary or journal kind of thing. That little yellow book that you'll see me flipping through all the time. It is my lifeline, and she introduced that to me as well. So she's very, very amazing and has great ideas. If you don't follow her already, I'll have her linked in the description below. But essentially, this is just a place to write down the books that you've read and color code them to the star rating, that's what I've chosen, and the day that I finished them on. If I manage to finish more than 2 books on the same day, which doesn't happen very often, I tend to go with the first book unless it's a really poor score. Then I use the higher rated book. We're now on the DNFs and rereads page, and finally I had my first reread of 2025, and that was A Harvest of Hearts by Andrea Eames. I hope I'm saying her last name correct. And I interestingly read this as an e-arc in March, but I really wanted to have a listen to what their voices sounded like on the audiobook, so I applied for the Libby hold. Came in much earlier than I expected, and I was just going to have a quick peek at it, but I ended up listening to the whole book. It actually meant that my rating went from 4 stars to 5 stars because I had a really good time. So I highly recommend doing that if you have read a book in another format and you perhaps want to check it out in a different one. You might have a better time doing so. I am also now filling in my books by ratings. Again, a bit repetitive. You've seen me do the star ratings about 3 times now, but I really do like to have these portioned together in this journal. This is the books by genres page. In my Q1 flip through, I did mention that this page is not working for me. I will not probably have it next year. So I am struggling with filling this one in. However, It's really enjoyable to look back and see the majority of what each one works as. I didn't put all the keys on the screen. I might end up doing that from here on out, just because I've zoomed in too much and you can't see what each color represents. For example, in the books by format, this purpley cornflower blue color is ebooks, and you can see that that predominantly is the color that I read a lot in. But I did put the key up on this screen here because I noticed that it was missing when I was editing it back, and I also wanted to talk about this because it was my first month where I had some really big book reads. So I read a book that was over 600 pages. It was actually 652 from the memory. And the other one is one that I think I'm going to color in now. Yep, it's 978 pages because it was an omnibus. So I wanted to share that this is what they represent on page length in this key. And yeah, let me know if you'd like the keys to be added to each page next month, because I think that might be a bit more helpful because I'm always zoomed in. Onto the reading goals page, I've just added my social media tracking, and I'm finally getting to check off my first reading goal, which was reading a book that was over 650 pages long. The reason I'm flipping that page around is red always stains if it's not dry, so I was just making sure it was dry before moving on to the Stats Omnibus, which is this giant table, and I've had quite a lot of commentary about this and how many people like it. For me, it's just a really great overview. I can write down every stat detail and look at this page at a glance, and if I need to know how many star ratings I had in February, it's right there in front of me. I don't have to go through digital findings, and I don't have to check my Instagram for my wrap-ups there. I have it all in one place. Obviously, I also have my stats pages, but I can look at it, see trends happening. There's that word again, trends, and just really enjoy it. So I'm glad that I added this table in this year, and I definitely will be continuing that in subsequent years. This is my last two tracking pages in this journal. It is the library savings. I only read 2 books from the library this month, and then on the eArc station I was able to write down that I am 95% in my NetGalley percentage, which is great news for me. I have a goal of being above 90% for the year of 2025. So far I'm sticking to it, but 95 felt really good. I'm hoping I can get even higher as the months go by, but I do have a click happy finger, love applying for arcs, love getting them, and then stressing about how I'm going to make it all fit. I'm finally on to the April stats page in my journal, and admittedly this is where everything went pear-shaped for my filming this day. Like I mentioned, I was listening to a audiobook, and I think I got a little bit too invested in it and wasn't paying enough attention to where the camera was set up. And because I zoomed in a lot, a bit too much actually, I missed a whole bunch of information getting put down on the page. So I do apologize. There is going to be a little bit of jumping around and diciness, of the current filming of this page. But I wanted to keep some of it in here because this is one of the pages that I love setting up each month. It's just, once again, a little bit repetitive, but one little house for all the information about April that I can, if I want to look specifically at a month, can just come to this page. I know where it's going to be. The information over every single month is consistent. I use the same format every single time. It doesn't have a lot of aesthetic looks to it. It's all just functional. But I really like this page. As you can see, they all look the same. And I always have to take a photo, and I always have to measure it out, even though I do it every single month, because I forget how big everything should be. I think I get my phone out in a moment and take a photo. There it is. And then I get down all the core stats. So I am going to share a little bit of that with you now. Like I mentioned, I did read a total of 10 books at the start of the month. I mentioned that. Sorry, at the start of this video. I was hoping to get to 11. I was almost done with one, but I digress. At least 10 is better than none. But the interesting thing is that my page read count was higher because I read those 2 really big books. And I think I read 4,415 pages. Yep, there it is. My average, like I mentioned earlier, was 4.1. I listened to 15.1 hours. So that's quite low for me because I normally listen to a lot of audiobooks. But I just wasn't in the mood for it. I did DNF 3 books this month. I had 4 arcs. I only had the 2 library hires. 8 books were part of a series, 2 were standalones. We didn't have book club this month, so that's a 0. And I did end up being very fortunate to have 4 new books to my bookcase, bookshelves, and I am in the process of unhauling a great deal of books. So I'm hoping that my bookshelves will look a little bit lighter in the upcoming months, mostly because I'm sure there will be new books coming that I would really like to have. So like I said, the information's getting jumped around a bit, so you don't get to see it all. I did write down my DNFs. I did write down the books I sampled. That's what I call a book if I didn't get past 10%. I don't feel like I have the right to say that I DNF'd it because I didn't give it even much of a chance. So I think I had 3 of those as well. And my star ratings, like I mentioned, I had 5 5-star reads, and then I had 1 4-star, 1 3.5 star, 2 3 stars, and 1 2.5 star. So that is the page done. Like I mentioned, wasn't paying attention to where I was filming, and we're now at the final flip through. Thank you so much for hanging around with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here and you've made it to the end, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope that you choose to do so again. And until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading. I hope that if you've got a reading journal, I hope you're having fun journaling. I will be back with several new videos soon. I'm a little bit behind in stuff that I've filmed. I've got some unboxings to share with you all. I've got some other journaling ideas, so stick around because I'm hopeful that the next few videos are going to be fun. And also, I have my June set up to do really soon, and I'm really excited about it because one of the unboxings is some more EB washi tape, and that's going to help me out a lot with the next setup. So do stick around for that. I'll have a lot of links below for you to check out other videos. I hope you're doing well, and I will hopefully see you in my next video sometime very soon. Thank you again for spending some time with me, and have a good day. Bye everyone.